When we try to assign our resources to certain tasks, there's a model that we call it assignment model as a part of the scheduling technique. Let's discuss and see this model in this video.
Now let's discuss about the assignment model. This is the first task that in scheduling, other than the sequencing and assignment. So we will discuss about how we can assign resources, we can assign a job to a resources. Assignment model is actually the special class of linear programming model, which assign the task or a job to any kind of resources, either this is personnel or a machine. And the objective in here is to minimize cost or time, or both cost and time. In this model, we assume that only one job is assigned to one machine. So one job to one resource. So this is kind like a one-to-one relationship that we will discuss in this assignment model. For example, take a look at this simple example. We have a 3 job and we have to assign this job so that we have the minimum cost. We have to assign job R34, S66, T50 to typesetter A, B, or C in this case. So R should be go to A, B, or C, and so on. So once we already use, for example, R already A, and the resource A is already occupied by R, so the others can use A anymore. So our task in here is to build a table of cost or time associated with this particular assignment. How we can do that? This is the way we can do an assignment. Number one is to create a zero opportunity cost by repeatedly subtracting the lowest cost from each row and each column. And we have to make a minimum number of vertical and horizontal lines that necessary to covers, in this case, all zeros in the table. If number of lines that we already made in the previous step is equal to number of rows or a number of columns, in this case, we should proceed to step number 4. Otherwise, we proceed to step number 3. What is step number 3? Is we subtract the smallest number that is not covered by the line from all other uncovered numbers. We should add the same number to any number at the intersection of these two lines. And then we should return back to step number 2. And then the step number 4 is the step where we already ready to make an assignment. So optimal assignment is at 0 location. So we set the jobs to the 0 location in the table. And we should select once, draw a line through the rows and column involved, and continue to the next assignment. How we can do that? Let's see from our previous example. We have the data like this. And let's move on to the first step, which is reducing the row. As we can see in here, row number 1, the minimum of row number 1 is 6 in this case. So we reduce all of this number with 6. So 11 minus by 6 is equal to 5. 14 minus 6 is 8. And 6 minus 6 is 0. And the second row, the minimum one is 8. So we reduce this one to 8 and resulted with 0 here and 2, and this one is 3. The minimum for row, the third row, is in this case is 7. So this we have 2 in here, we have 5, and we have a 0. We continue this step and enumerate this from the column. We try to find out, yeah, in column A, for example, column A, the minimum from the column A is a 0 in this case. So we still have, yeah, so we will have the same number since everything reduced by 0 or minus by the 0 will have the same number. And column B, let's take a look. The column B in this case is the minimum is 2. So everything in column B we should reduce with 2. So resulted with 6, 0, and 3 in here. And let's take a look at column C. In this case we have 0. So everything will be reduced by 0. So will resulted with the same numbers. So this is step number 1. So reducing in rows and reducing in column. So this is the final result. The final result. And let's evaluate the step number 2, which is to draw a line to cover or to close all the 0 in here. In step number 2, we only need 2 lines, line number 1 and line number 2, while number of rows in this case is equal to 3 and column also is equal to 3. So in this case, yeah, because only 2 lines I needed to cover all the 0, the solution is not yet optimal. So we couldn't step to the step number 4, which is assignment, but we proceed to step number 3, which is the subtraction. What is subtraction in this case? So here we have the in this case we see from the uncovered number. So we see from the uncovered number. So we have 2, 3, 5, and 6. So the minimum one is 2. So from all this uncovered number, so we reduce this one with 2. So resulted with 3 in here, 4 in here, and this one should be 0. This one should be 0, and this one should be 1. And from the intersection here, we should add with the minimum one. So here is 3 plus 2. So resulted with 5 in here. So this is our table from the subtraction step. And we go back to step number 2, we create a line. When we create a line, either we create line horizontally or vertically. For example, we create a line vertically. We need at minimum 3 lines, which is 3 lines is needed. Line number 1, line number 2, line number 3 is needed. So the solution is optimal and we are ready to make an assignment. So we step up to the step number 4 to make assignment. In this case, how we can make assignment is try to assign the resources to the job or to the job to the resources with having the 0 cost in this case. So take a look at here. Let's start with R34. R34 is which one? A having the cost 3, 4, and 0. So R34 should be go to type setter C. In this case, we cannot use C anymore. So we close up C. And then let's take a look. S66 have 2 alternatives A and B. So we consider it later. And then T50, the task T50, the 0 is in A. So we set it to A, and then so we cannot use A anymore. And then S66 is to resources B. So this is the last resources that we can use. So we close up again. So this is the final result. From here, we can calculate, referring to the original table. So this is the original table. Referring to this original table, we have the total cost of when R34 to C is 6 plus S66 to B plus 10, in this case T50 to A, so have cost of 9, so in total we have 25. So thank you so much for joining me. This is the one-to-one assignment model. In the next video, let's learn about the sequencing model.
Thank you so much for joining me in Learning Operation Management. See you again in the next video.